And welcome to this edition of Taco Tuesday with Ace. I'm joined by Eddie Morelos, Media Relations Director of the Sun Bowl Association. Eddie, welcome. Welcome to this edition of Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, huh?
For those of you that don't know, we got a little thing going on. I think it's Taco Tuesday. He thinks it's
Tie Tuesday. It's Tie Tuesday. Every Tuesday I wear a tie.
right, but
Except for today.
yeah, exactly. But we're going with tacos, and we got tacos here today.
Only because it's his show. I'm complying. I'm gonna comply, and it's gonna be
But we got tacos.
Taco
we got
Tuesday.
tacos, of course.
I'm all cool. I'm cool with that.
So Eddie, tell us exactly, what does the Media Relations Director do, for those that don't know?
Cool, that's a great question. And, I bring on interns every semester. Andy, I don't know if you know that. It's a nice team of about anywhere from 5 to 8 to 10 students from UTEP, New Mexico State, and El Paso Community College. And the first assignment I give them is, what does a media relations director do? So they have to go and research, and out of the research, they find out that the media relations director does a wide array of tasks. And we write press releases, we file photos. You people take photos, send them to me, and we'll file them and organize them. We create graphics, we run social media, we update stats, we update the record books, we lay out publications. Just anything. There's so much that has to do with the media. I have great relationships with the media, as you know. You are part of the media as well with the El Paso Herald-Post, and I thank the El Paso Herald-Post for always covering us. Every time I send a press release out, I always look, and it's right there on El Paso Herald-Post. So make sure you go to their website and check out all their content. So again, I work very closely with the media, setting up press conferences, letting them know of any updates that we might have with Sun Bowl. For example, when we found our new title sponsor, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, of course, you saw the press release come out, and then I gave you guys information about the press conference. We set up the press conference and run the press conference and make sure all that information gets out. And just a lot of different things.
A lot of different things. Now take us back. Growing up, you are from New Mexico, right?
Yes, I'm originally from Lordsburg, New Mexico, and if anybody knows Lordsburg, if anybody's made the trip from El Paso to Tucson, you'll know that Lordsburg is right in the middle of that spot, and you can just stop there right in between El Paso and Tucson and get your gas and stop at, usually people stop in the McDonald's right there. It's right off the interstate. And that Lordsburg, New Mexico, the metropolis of Lordsburg, we're 3,000 people. It's probably less now.
Really?
3,000 people were there when I grew up. Graduated from Lordsburg High School, home of the Lordsburg Mavericks.
Mavericks.
And I graduated back in 1997.
Ooh, 97.
Yeah,
97.
yeah.
Now, did you play sports out there in Lordsburg?
Of course, yeah. That's why I got into this sports business that we're in, Andy. And growing up, and in particular in high school, I played all the sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball, and even ran some track. And,
Really?
Yeah.
Really track.
Yeah, I did the 400 and the 300 hurdles, and
running.
I did that mainly just to stay in shape for football. Which I look back, I'm like, I should have just stuck with baseball the whole time, because I played baseball 2 years and then ran track for 2 years. And then, like I said, I played basketball and football, and I played quarterback in football. And I was a post player in basketball, because 6'3" is the tallest person on the team. Well, usually, in the bigger schools, that's a point guard.
Right.
But back from where I'm from, that's the post player. So I was the post player in basketball.
And dunk it.
I dunked it one time.
Once. Right.
One time in my whole career.
He's over 6 foot, so he dunked. That's good.
That's good. And that was on a rebound. On a putback.
All right, now you're about to graduate from high school. What made you? Where did you decide to go to college, and how did you choose?
So it was really neat. People have a hard time believing that I was the salutatorian of our class. And,
really? So we got some excellence right here, right?
Anyways, I'll tell that story if anybody wants to hear it one-on-one. I can tell you that one-on-one. But I was a salutatorian, and I was all excited and decided to go to New Mexico State over in Las Cruces. Not too far from home, but it was outside of Lordsburg. And I decided to go the long route in my college career. You know what I mean?
You got the 10 years for the bachelor's?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I think it was 10 years.
Hey, but you got it.
Got
You
it done.
got it.
I took the long route. So I went to Las Cruces, started school, did things the hard way. I'll even just go ahead and say, got into a little bit of trouble and had to reevaluate my life. When I did that, I started working full time, and then got back into school. And when I got back into school, I had to figure out something to do. Really, like, what am I gonna do now? So I looked into the journalism department there at New Mexico State. I remember growing up, sitting there at my parents' table every Thursday because they only had a weekly newspaper in Lordsburg. And it would come out the Lordsburg Liberal.
There you go.
Founded in 1888 or something like that.
Wow.
I remember it always said that. And I would sit there every Thursday and read the newspaper, and I really enjoyed that. And then I also remember, going to bed at night, and when we were growing up, we had all the stations in Lordsburg. We had the Tucson stations, the Albuquerque stations, and the El Paso stations.
So you had the whole mix.
So we were right in the middle of it all, and I remember watching, I believe it was K-Gun out of Tucson. I would watch KTSM, sorry all the news people. I would watch KTSM out of El Paso and KOAT out of Albuquerque. So I watched all the different news stations. I just didn't remember enjoying it and being really intrigued by news media, whether it was print or TV. So I went into journalism and got connected with one of my former mentors. His name was Dr. Sean McClanagan. And he got me connected with the athletics department, sports information department at New Mexico State back in 2005.
Oh, really?
So that's a long time ago.
Now, New Mexico State has been, their media program's always been really, really good. Now, going into athletics, did that just open up your eyes a lot more to the possibilities of what you can do?
Oh, yeah. I went into that and like I said, Dr. Mack said, this is for you. This is for you. And I didn't even know what sports information directors did, or that there was even such a thing as a sports information director, or as I'm known, a media relations director. I didn't know anything about that. But I went and got connected with a gentleman by the name of Tyler Dunkel. He was the head sports information director there at the time. And I asked him, if I could join his crew, and he said yes. And I started working, learning little things about stats, and learning about how to write bios, and that headshots are needed, and, just so many different little things that I learned that first year. And I asked him, well, how can I keep doing this? And he says, well, apply for the paid internship, and we'll see what direction we go. So I did. I got the paid internship right after that first year of working as a student worker. And I just fell in love with it because it was just so intense, and just always around sports, always around coaches, always around players, at practices, on the road for games. And I just fell really in love with it and stuff. And then I asked, well, how do I keep doing this? And he says, well, we'll see what happens. And in 2008, I don't know if you remember, there was a recession back in 2008. And I remember at New Mexico State, they're doing a lot of job cuts, and laying people off. And I remember even people were having to take furloughs.
Really?
And during that time, and I can only credit it to God, a job was created for me. They literally made a new position for me. And that was in 2008, and I accepted the job, and I stayed there until 2015. I worked every sport: football, basketball, both men's and women's golf, baseball, softball, volleyball, you name it, I did it. I worked every sport there. The only one, I take it back, the only one I didn't work was equestrian.
Ooh, that's a unique one.
Yeah, I mean, still to this day, I don't know how to score equestrian. But I do know that it does involve horses.
That's the only thing I know. That's the only thing I know on that one.
So yeah, and then back in 2015, I got a phone call from the former media relations director here at the Sun Bowl, and says, "Hey, I found another job. I'm moving out. I've suggested you." And they said, "So if you want it, send your resume in." So that's what I did. Sent my resume in, and was able to get an interview, and knocked the interview out the park, and
Now you're here.
Here we are.
Now you're here.
Now we're here, and I love El Paso, man. I fell in love with El Paso from the moment I started working, and just seeing how the community of El Paso comes together, especially for big events like the Thanksgiving Day Parade or our football game. You know, we get so many people volunteering for us. It's amazing to see people just want to give their time to the Humboldt Association and to the city of El Paso.
Perfect. Now let's enjoy a taco real quick, Eddie.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you're drawing on that because it is Taco Tuesday
Cool,
with Ace.
man.
All
Awesome,
right.
dude. Let's see here. I don't want to make too much of a mess
That's
around
all right.
here.
That's all right.
Thank you,
know,
man.
The tacos. This is what we're about. All about the tacos right there.
If I had my tie, it'd be Tie Tuesday. But it's Taco Tuesday again. Out of respect for my man here. Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
One. Now you got to experience a lot of sports and traveling with the Aggies. What's some of the biggest moments that you got to witness?
You know, Ace, I got to travel all over the country. If it wasn't for that job, I wouldn't have seen the places I've seen. I mean, traveling from anywhere from Seattle, Washington, all the way to Florida, Tampa, Florida, to all over the state of California, to Chicago, Illinois. And my favorite place, and I tell people all this time how blessed I am to get I got paid to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
10 times.
10 times. Not just once.
Not just
10.
once. Not even just twice. Not even just 10. 10 times, Andy. I mean, it's and for at least 4 or 5 of those times, I was there for at least 4 days. So, you know, and I was living the life, dude. It was amazing. I met so many great people in Hawaii. I have a lot of great connections there in Hawaii now. I just love that place. Love it. And even with that said, one of the greatest experiences I had was one of the teams that I worked with a lot was the New Mexico State volleyball team, which if you know about New Mexico State volleyball or even college volleyball, you would know that the volleyball team is very successful. And back in those days, in the early years of my career there, we were in the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, with Hawaii was in the WAC at that time. And Hawaii has always been a top 10 volleyball team nationally, even top 5 for a lot of years. Well, they hadn't lost the conference match, a WAC match. I want to say it was like 220 something straight matches they won. And we went over there for a match. And of course, we always gave them the best competition out of the WAC. And there was over 8,000 people in the arena. I'll never forget it. It was always sold out, I mean, to capacity, just loud for a women's volleyball match. It's amazing. And so intense. And we swept them in 3 sets. Swept them in 3 sets. And I believe that was in 2008 as well. Swept them. And it was just amazing and just so cool, just the silence in the arena. They were shocked. The people were just sat there and didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react to that at all. And just an amazing thing. Again, it was very newsworthy. So we had a flight right after the match. It's a couple hours after the match. So took the red eye. We landed in Phoenix at about, it was about 7 a.m. And I'm getting phone calls from all kinds of media. And hey, you know, about the match, you know, they wanted to interview coach and interview a couple players. And it was great. It was really neat. And so that was one of the memories that I had. Again, we went to the NCAA tournament many times with the volleyball team, and that was always fun, always a good time. I got to see the Aggies win a volleyball match the first round.
Oh, really?
They won one, so that was neat. That was the same time I met Steve Kerr.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we played in Cal Berkeley. We played against St. Mary's. We beat St. Mary's. The next match, we were going to play Cal Berkeley, and Steve Kerr's daughter was playing on Cal Berkeley, and we tried to get him onto our radio show, our pregame radio show, but he didn't go for it. So, but it was cool. I met him. So
he's like, I'm here as a fan.
Yeah. So yeah, and he told us that. He says, no, you know, I'm here as a fan. I'm just here as a parent and a fan, and I try to stay away from the court. He told me because my daughter seems to get a little nervous when I get close, and so I just try to stay in the background. And I was cool with it. I mean, shook his hand. So Oh, good.
Perfect.
But I also worked with the basketball team and got to go to the NCAA tournament with the basketball team one year.
Yeah, the Aggies are known for basketball. You know, it's
Yeah.
How was that experience going to the show?
So that was a really fun year. I want to say that was 2012, maybe somewhere around there. And I got to go to the show, like you said, the NCAA March Madness tournament. You know, that year there was a gentleman by the name of Simbular, 7'6", I believe. 7'6" is the height.
7'6". Now remember, Shaq's like 7'1".
Yeah.
Right. So Yao was what, 7'4"?
Yao was, I think, 7'4". Yes, 7'6", Canadian Indian. So just think of that. And his brother was also on the team, but he was redshirting that year, and he was 7'3". I wish I had the picture with me, but I had a picture with them together, and I'm 6'3", and I looked like a little midget when I stood between them. But that was fun traveling with them that year, because every time we'd go to the airports, people would just walk by and stare at us.
Who is that? Who is that?
And then, so like I said, we got to go to the NCAA tournament that year, and they have pre-tournament meetings, and I'm sitting there in one of the meetings, and I'm working away. I have my computer there, and I'm working away, and they say, all right, let's start the meeting. So I shut my computer down, and I look over to the right, and there's a gentleman here, and the next gentleman sitting there is Michigan State head coach, Tom Izzo.
Oh, wow.
That was my reaction.
You're like, wow.
Yes, exactly. That was my reaction. I was like, oh, wow. Just like you did. And I don't get starstruck very much, but in that moment, I was starstruck. I kind of got a little jittery even. And
like, whoop.
yeah. I was just sitting two seats down from one of the most famous college head coaches of all time. And that was neat. And the next night we played against San Diego State. We took them to overtime, and we lost a close one in overtime. I want to say it was by like 3 points. And so that was tough. But it was just an amazing experience being in that arena with that vibe, that feel, the energy. I mean, you've been to many sporting events. You know that same feeling. And, that's probably one of my highlights of the career as well.
So that whole journey at NMSU was just, you had the ups and downs, but it's just electrifying from what it seems like.
Oh man, it's like I told you earlier. I'm very blessed to have seen the things that I've seen. I mean, NCAA tournament men's basketball, NCAA tournament women's volleyball, also the NCAA tournament for baseball. The New Mexico State Aggies made it as an at-large bid one year, and we got to go to the Tucson regional. Oh, and that reminds me, we played against Louisville.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you know one of the most famous alumni from Louisville.
Not off the top of my head.
Muhammad Ali.
He's
He's an alum, right? And he's a donor and all that. So guess who was at the game?
right there.
Muhammad Ali was sitting right there. Like,
join a baseball game.
And
champ
that was another time I got starstruck. And he had some security around him, so I really didn't get aggressive and try to go get a picture or an autograph or anything. But I mean, 5 feet away from me was the legendary Muhammad Ali.
The champ.
The champ was there. He was there, and that was we lost there too, and that was a tough one. I think we lost by 1 run again, and it was a great experience though. Got to meet and become close with the Arizona SID, who I still talk to on occasion, and again, all the people I've met around the country, just amazing people. I mean, this world that we work in, Andy, the sports business world, it's a blessing, man. It could be intense at times. Don't get me wrong, stressful even, someone might say, but at the end of the day, man, we get to work sports, dude.
You get to work sports. For those who love sports, this might be a career path for you there.
Yeah.
Now you go from college athletics to one of the second oldest bowl in college football history?
The second oldest bowl game in all of college, yes. Just only behind the Rose Bowl. We are, I believe, we're right there tied with, I want to say the Orange Bowl. The same year, Orange Bowl and Sun Bowl started the same year. The year before was the Rose Bowl.
Now tell us some of the the highlights that you experienced so far with this, other than the name change, because that's we're gonna get to that, but just going from NMSU to, all right, now we got Oregon and we got SC and then you got Virginia Tech and.
Excuse me. So I also do stats for both New Mexico State. I do. I'm the statistician. I type them in other words, for both New Mexico State and UTEP football. Okay, and I'll let the viewer decide what kind of college football that is. But to go from that to constantly working with the Pac-12 and the ACC has been just, it's really, how do I put this? It's given me more of an interest in college football. You know, it's just really boosted me to really be attracted to watch college football week in and week out. I really do enjoy it now. And it's just amazing that, again, the people that we meet in this journey. For example, the Stanford SID, you know, I met him when Stanford came down. He's a young man by the name of Eric, and he was super great worker, super nice. Then after our game, a week later, I got the opportunity to go and work the national championship game with, you know, the connections that I made here with the Sun Bowl. And I show up there to go work, and we go into our first meeting, and I run into the Stanford SID. And, you know, we just, you know, start chatting away. We're both surprised to see each other there. And, you know, again, that bond, you know, it's been a highlight to meet all these different amazing people. You know, earlier I talked about how the city of El Paso comes together for our events. I met so many amazing volunteers because of the Sun Bowl. And again, I cannot say it enough how great it is to see the people of El Paso come together to do these things. You know, another highlight is just being able to see at the end of the game, at the end of the year, December 31st, at around 6:30, 7 at night, when I'm finally done, to realize, wow, we provided another great event, another year of great events for the city of El Paso and the region here. And it's just a great feeling whenever you get it all accomplished and get it done. It's just an amazing feeling that I get, and makes me come back the next year. You know what I mean? It makes me say, hey, I want to do this again. I don't want to go and do any kind of labor work, or you know, I want to keep doing what I'm doing.
Perfect. Now, going into this year's Sun Bowl, new title sponsor, new challenges, but new possibilities. Can you explain the excitement that's buzzing all around with?
Oh yeah, we are now known as as you can see, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. We are as far as I know, the only bowl with the mascot, you know, leading the way. So Tony the Tiger has shown up many times to my office, and you know, we're becoming really good friends. So it's just exciting. You know, we get a little bit more money with this title sponsor, and we are excited to see what Kellogg's is gonna do. They're in the plans. We've been communicating with them, and they have some plans to do some giveaway stuff and some extra promotions at the game. So just be on the lookout, man.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, you know, be on the lookout on our social media pages. Facebook, you can search at Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, or even just type in Sun Bowl Association. You'll find our Facebook page. And there's going to be some giveaways. So keep an eye out. We're giving away probably some merchandise and some tickets. You know what I mean? So
you might run into Tony.
Yeah, hey, you might run into Tony there, as a matter of fact. So follow us, you know, on Facebook, like our page, Sun Bowl Association, or search by at Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. You can also follow us on Twitter at Tony the Tiger _SB, and on Instagram at Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, and also on Snapchat Sun Bowl 2015.
Sun Bowl 2015, perfect. All right, Eddie, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I mean, a lot of good stuff. If you're interested in the sports business, this might be a career path that you might want to do. Eddie, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome.